Yo, what's going on out there in YouTube land? What's happening, good people? You are now tuned in to another dope video here at No BS Allowed TV, the place where we discuss truth, life, love, and all dope things in between. I am your host, that guy, King P, aka Big Game James, aka Pastor Offering, aka the reason why you are here, aka the Ice Nine, also known as the undisputed heavyweight champ of common sense. Welcome. If you are new here, please consider subscribing. You're going to love it here. I promise you that. Kick off your shoes, relax. It's going to be a good time. All my returning subscribers, salute. And now, y'all know how we do it. So let's get right into it. Dig this, good people. All throughout this past weekend, social media, the rap world, entertainment as a whole has been in a chokehold uh, with this whole Kendrick Lamar and Drake situation, their battle, their beef. There's been a plethora of diss songs that have come out, a lot of back and forth. Everybody's choosing up sides and what have you. Now, me being a hip hop fan, me being a fan of music, I had to weigh in on this situation. All right. Now, full disclaimer, I'm not a Drake fan. I've never been a Drake fan. His music just doesn't do it for me. Uh, it's not that I don't think that he's talented. He is talented, but he's never did it for me. For the way I like to enjoy music, Drake has never did it for me. I am a fan of Kendrick. I actually went and bought Good Kid, Mad City on CD. I went and bought Section 80 on CD. I still have those, by the way. But be that as it may, my opinions and thoughts aren't necessarily going to be as biased as you think they are. Now, I really don't care about all the gossipy aspects of this beef. The the I know something that you don't want the world to know type of thing. Nah, I mean that's cute, and that's where battles have gone nowadays. But see, I came up when battles were on wax were basically about, okay, I rap better than you, I'm cooler than you, I'm better than you. But things have things are about, well, how much dirt can I bring up on you personally? And I get it, because these are diss records, and this is short for disrespectful. And believe you me, there's been a lot of disrespect on both sides. So that leads me to believe that even though this is generating a lot of views, a lot of attention, and actually a lot of money, don't be fooled, there seems to be a genuine dislike between these two young men. And I don't know where it started. I don't know how it began or what have you. But my thoughts on it are this. This has been a long time coming. This has been a long time coming because, for one, Drake Drake from my vantage point seems to have gotten too big for his britches, as the old folks say. And he believes that his ish don't stink, and he can do whatever he wants, however he wants. And there have been stories of him, doing all types of unscrupulous things to artists and what have you, as far as business and things like that. And so, certain people in the industry are turned off by him. And then on top of that, he gives off the He gives off the persona of somebody who is covering up for some type of inadequacy. Because let me just keep it a buck. Dude comes off like a cornball to me. He does. He comes off like a cornball to me. And now I'm not saying that all rappers have to be hyper masculine and hyper aggressive and all of that. No, I'm not saying that. But Drake has always, to me, he's always come off as the really lame dude that that basically is overcompensating for the fact that he's lame. Now, his music aside, again, as I said, his music doesn't do it for me, but that doesn't mean that I don't acknowledge the fact that he's talented. Now, do I think he's the same caliber of MC as K Dot? No, and I'm going to touch on that because see, here's the thing. All right, people have to understand this because we live in a day and age where people listen with their eyes. And we all know that Drake is a more popular artist than Kendrick Lamar, although Kendrick Lamar's career is nothing to sneeze at. However, Drake is a household name. He's a household name worldwide, and that's cool. He's earned that. However, the thing about it is this: when it comes down to it, you got to be able to do it. And I'm talking about being able to spit that flame on the mic. And we know that's what K Dot does. We know that's what he does. And okay, so now you have this global pop star into a conflict with actual MC. Kendrick is an actual MC. Okay, that's why their music is different. Drake is an adequate rapper. He's an adequate rapper. I mean, by today's standards. But is he well equipped to go against the likes of people? Go against the likes of someone who has been on records with people with elite MCs like Tech Nine, Eminem, and the like? No. And you hear it in these diss tracks they have. Drake Drake has followed the Drake formula. Kendrick started out doing his MC thing, but then when it came down to it, Kendrick threw a curveball when he hit with that not like us, because everybody thought that Kendrick was just going to stay on the rapidy type tip, which he did, but he actually made a club banger, and so much so now that that's going to bang all summer. That's going to bang all summer. From coast to coast. It's not just a West Coast record. Not Like Us is going to bang all summer. And that's how you know that you have a classic disc record. Because if you think about it, all classic disc records, you were able to play them in the clubs. You were able to play them. You were able to play them in places where a lot, where people were getting down at. Now, I'm not a dancer or anything like that, but even I know that, hey, look, you got to move the people. And now some disc songs require your attention, and Kendrick hit with a lot of those. The Meet the Grams and all of that. It was eerie. It was methodical. It was lyrical. It was poignant. It was purposeful. But also, gotta give credit where credit's due. Drake was rapping and talking his thing on his diss tracks. His the family matters and what have you. Okay, so he upped his ante. Now again, his skill set is not on par with K Dot. So that's going to be there's going to be a drastic there's going to be a drastic divide there. And you heard it. Now, this last song that Drake came with, The Heart Part 6, in all honesty, that was a big letdown. He the whole thing of him because again, I don't care about the whole salacious details. I just care about whether you can spit or not. Whatever it is the whole thing of the gossip girl thing and all that. I'm not really with that. So I'm more about okay, give me some bars. And I felt that Drake didn't necessarily come with the bars on the Heart Part 6. It sounded as if he already knew that he had been defeated. He had been defeated. And this is what happens when you run up against a superior MC and try to beat them at their own game. Now, had this just been about internet crap, about who makes the best memes and who can get the most eyes on their social media content, then we're talking about a different situation. But when it comes to putting beats with the rhymes, there's just some cats that you just want to give a lot of leave alone on that microphone. Kendrick is one of them, and he has proved that. Now, of course, Drake's staunch Drake supporters, they're coming out with, oh well, Kendrick didn't say nothing. It was corny. It was lame. It was this. It was that, and all that other stuff. Your bias is showing. But hey, hey, we all have chosen sides. It's just what it is. But again, I believe in giving credit where it's due. Drake did some. Drake came with some bars on some of on a couple of his joints, but he just didn't have the heavy artillery to compete with K Dot, and so that's just what it is. That's just where it is. Now, I'm not a proponent of this whole thing of well, if you lose a battle, then your career should be over. You should just be banished and all that. We got to get off that. We got to get off that. If you fall off, it should be because you fell off. It should be of your own merit. I believe that there is a downturn when it comes to Drake. People are tired of him one way or another. You have the one side that's tired of him being omnipresent, tired of him always being successful, tired of him winning. Then on the other hand, you just have the people who never liked him in the first place. I'm in that crowd. I never liked him in the first place. Again, he just didn't do it for me. Now, do I want to see him, do I want to see him see him go away? No. I mean, because I never paid any attention to him in the first place. When I first heard him, it's like, nah, that's not something I'm into. So he was persona non grata upon first listen. However, in today's climate, in today's social media climate, if you take an L, then that means that you're supposed to just basically just vanish, just be gone. And that's corny to me. That's real corny. It's real whack. This was a battle. One guy won, one guy lost. One guy was better than the other. They both put mad energy into this. Nobody got hurt. I don't want to see anybody hurt. Don't want to hear about anyone getting hurt. Now the allegations and salacious talk, again, that's for the gossip blogs, that's for the gossip channels and all that. We don't do that here. I'm not a detective, nor do I play one on television, and I'm not going to start trying to do it now. If anyone has done anything, if anyone has done anything that they didn't have any business doing, then you know what? Let justice sort that out. But I'm merely talking about the whole thing of battling, rappers battling. All right. And for you younger people, you have to understand what you're seeing now is just really just history repeating. This is hip hop. This has always been permanent. This has always been a thing in hip hop. You older heads, you remember LL Cool J, Kool Moe Dee. How can we forget that? If you look at the Kendrick and Drake situation, you kind of see the similarities because okay, all right, Kool Moe Dee was the more accomplished lyricist. LL was the more popular artist. They had conflict. They started throwing disses back at each other and what have you. LL won the battle because he was younger, he was fresher, and he appealed to a wider audience. He was more popular. But Kool Moe Dee was really talking that. That last verse of "Let's Go," where he used only L words to basically eviscerate LL Cool J. But by that time, people have, people had turned off. They're like, all right, they had already decided in their minds that Cool J was the winner, especially after Jack the Ripper came out and what have you, and it was a wrap. Again, the popular artist won the day. But again, when we're talking about lyrical capabilities, Kool Moe Dee was that guy. He screwed up. For one, he was sounding like an old man. For one, he kept picking the wrong beats. Again, your disc records have to be able to move people. They gotta move people to think, and want to break down what it is you're saying, but also eventually you're gonna have to move feet and buttocks. That's just what it is. No Vaseline, great diss song. Does all that. It gives you the oohs, ahs, and all that, but it also makes you dance. The beat makes you dance. Hit 'em up. Hit 'em up is it goes down in the annals of hip hop history as one of the greatest diss songs ever. I'm not necessarily in the camp of that. It is a but what it is a great diss song. But it moves people. Again, it gets people up dancing and whatnot. You play hit 'em up, they're gonna dance to it, they're gonna move to it. It's what it is. All right. Now, the only one that really doesn't fit in that category is Ether. But Ether, Ether became a whole movement within itself. All right. It became a whole term. Like, okay, well, yo, son got ethered. The beat to ether isn't something that you gonna see women shaking their thing too, but it did its job. Ether is the only exception to this rule. So again, just a little history, whatnot. But getting back to the subject at hand, as far as K Dot and Drake, hey, this is a good moment for hip hop. All diss records aside and whatnot, the energy is a great thing. Now, we should never want it to turn negative. We should never want anybody going out of their scope, doing anything malicious or nefarious to one's person. And if you are sitting back and you are wanting that to happen, then you a sucker, and there's really no room in the culture for you. But if you could just take it as what it is, it's a battle between two of the best artists that are in the game today, and leave it where it is. Then hey, you have the proper perspective. Shout out to J. Cole. J. Cole knew that this freight train was coming, and he got out the way. He knew that this wasn't for him. He didn't want to do this. Now a lot of people jumped on his head and said, "Oh well, yeah, it's hip hop. You're supposed to be." Well, not everybody's cut like that. Not every man wants to. Not every man wants to engage. And so, hey, he had every right to go ahead and sit this one out. So, shout out to him. You know what I mean? But also shout out to hip hop. You know what I mean? And with that, I'm going to land my plane right there. Let me know your thoughts. Let's chop it up in the comment section. You tell me who you think won and why you think they won. All right? Maybe your team Kendrick, maybe your team Drake, maybe your team nobody. Either or, I would love to talk to you in the comments. So, mosey on down there and we will have a great conversation. I would like to thank you all before I get out of here for checking me out, because you could be doing anything, but you decided to pay me attention when you could very well pay me no mind. All right? That means a lot to me. We are close to 1,000 subscribers. We are close. 1K is on the way. All right? And I'm trying to grow this thing, and I cannot do it without you. So, before I get out of here, let me ask you to do me a favor. Like, comment, share my video, but most of all, subscribe. It's free. If you made it this far, it's the least you can do. All right? Help your boy out. And lastly, before I leave you, I would like to say there's a lot of people talking, but not everyone is worth listening to. And with that said, good people, as always, two fingers equals per